Get it for the clickbait. Nah, get it for the thumbnail. Hold up. Hold up. Get it for the thumbnail. Get it for the thumbnail. All right, maybe that would be a good thumbnail. Okay. Um. You know, the human being. Let me not get deep with it. Let's just really talk about like the gist of it. Your biggest goal that you think would possibly make your life and dream come true is nothing in comparison to who you are with no goals and just your presence, just who you are. You think you're these goals, you think you're this name, you think you're this body, you think you're this person who's worth this much in this life, and you're something that's none of those things. You know, those are just illusion based things that you identify with and gravitate to so that you could operate in the world. Because without any identifications of any kind, meaning not saying, not like, because there's a program of saying, I am not these stuff, like I'm a spiritual person, but that's an identification. You'll be subcategorized into the people who call themselves spiritual people. You'll look like a spiritual person, you'll talk like it, and you're not any different or any better than the person who is working a 9 to 5 job or a farmer or whatever it may be. You're not any different because you still have the dogma and the basically identity of a spiritual person. So there's no difference between you and them. And there's really no difference between you and an enlightened person besides the enlightened person doesn't stay crowded in identifications of their mind. So that's the difference. It's like when you look at life and you look at your life, Julius, the character who goes by the name Julius, you think that achieving some big goal, achieving some financial stability, and getting to that level of like where you don't have to worry about anything is going to make you fully complete, and that's just not the case. Because once you get there, you're gonna want a bigger house or something bigger and better. That's just how the nature of the mind works. It never arrives. It never sets itself on one thing. And the idea that, oh, I'm getting older and that, oh, I have to do something because I'm getting older, which is a true thing. But to let that thing destroy you and say that the thing that you're going to go for or do is going to make you complete is just not the best way to look at life. It's not. It will put a fire on your ass, but like, bro, there's a better way to go about doing something in a way where you're making it your whole, you're putting all your eggs into that basket versus just that audio in the back is just messing me up. It shouldn't be messing me up, but it is. I'm allowing it to. I guess I'm not saying that anything should be any specific way. Like, I'm not trying to pinpoint and put life into a box, but why would somebody want to base their fulfillment on a goal getting realized by a certain time and age? It's a bit it's a bit futile, bro. It's a bit futile. Why would somebody want to put their whole baskets into realizing a goal at a certain age? Why would you base that your fulfillment on? Because then every day you're just going for this goal and you'll never be able to experience life as a whole. That was pretty bars. It's just a fact, like, everything you'll be through the lens of, like, I gotta achieve this goal, I gotta achieve this goal. By the time you're 26 or 30 or whatever age you are, you know, you won't even have experienced 1 ounce of life because every day you were in the constant pursuit of something. And everything just went by you. You never even experienced life. You just kept bitching and complaining about having this goal be done. And most of the times, you don't get the goal done because you can't even focus because you're constantly trying to get to the next level. You'll never be able to appreciate the moments of growth and the moment of every moment. You're not actually living. You're just bitching. I guess there's a fear that the I want to say the limited identity has, which is it's scared that it's not going to make a living. It's scared. But why be scared? Because it's a survival thing. It's just an intrinsic nature of the human, which is to survive. So you don't wanna not survive. Like you like your luxuries, you like your comfortableness, you like being in a house. You've grown really attached to these things, and these things have kind of boxed you in a certain way. They've essentially boxed you in a particular way. So that's what I gotta say to that. I mean, I've been doing my meditations. I've been going outside working out. I would really, you see, I'm creating another desire, but it's something that you just have to live. Who wouldn't want to be fulfilled right now? Meaning all your dreams, every possible dream that you could ever have, the feeling that you get in the climax of those dreams, you get that in every waking moment of your life. Who wouldn't want to have that? That when you take up a new task or a new skill that you want to learn, in the bad and the quote unquote, because it's not really bad, but in the days that you don't know what you're doing, in the first beginning days, you had the fulfillment of what it's like to be at the peak of the skill, or the peak of fulfillment in the skill. Like you got your first big job, or you got a really big job in it, or you've achieved a really big project and you feel so satisfied about it. If you can feel that satisfaction in every waking moment of your life, then that is the ticket, because that is really what creates the life in the first place. Because if you are in the beginning stages and you go through your life saying like, um, not back though. If you are in the beginning stages and you go through your life um, saying, "Oh, I'm not that good right now. I'm getting older. I'm getting older." Blah 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 blah. Versus if you were to hypothetically, right now, be as fulfilled as you would be in the climax of your career, the highest point of your career, you feel all the joy in that moment. But if that moment was supposed to were to happen in the present moment, and you feel that in every waking moment of your life, do you think you care about how old you are? Do you think you care about whether or not you need to achieve something at a certain age? No. You're living in fulfillment right now. And that thing radiates off into life. And it's like, what's the need? The thing is, it's just your identity has created the need to achieve something by a certain time. So then now you're feeling all the suffering about that. But if you were to just have that fulfillment of the highest peak of your career and have that fulfillment right now in every waking moment of your life, even in sleep, right? You're just at the peak all the time. Then there would be no need to achieve a certain thing by a certain time, because you've already achieved everything that you could possibly achieve as a human being, which is to be free from the body and be free from the mind and reside in the space of infinity. Reside in the space of unconditioned, the unconditional space, the universal space. But nobody's in it. Not everybody's in the universal space. They're in the space of all these expectations, and they'll never be happy. They'll never be fulfilled. And it's about, I don't want to say putting your ego aside, but essentially putting the mind aside. You know, that's essentially what it is, man. And it's letting go of all that, all that I need to do this by a certain time, and really enjoying the present moment now as if you are at the highest peak of your career now. You know, that's what it's about. It's not about what this person thinks, what the society thinks. Am I gonna end up this way? Does none of that shit matters if you're at the peak right now. If you're at the peak of your experience right now. And that way, if you're at the peak of your experience right now, with no conditions placed on the experience on your experience, right? Like you don't need anything to happen. for you to be at your peak. Most people, they need to achieve a big goal or something crazy needs to happen. They need to meet a friend or a lover or some shit. And that's what's going to create their happiness. But it's fading, so it'll go away eventually. It will. But why need those things to create the peak of experience? Why not have it so that to be at the peak of experience or joyful, there's no conditions at all. You wake up, you're joyful for no reason at all. You're just joyful, just for the sake of being joyful. They're not even for the sake, you're just joyful as an expression because that's what you're choosing to do. You're just choosing to be fulfilled now, not placing your happiness on anything. This is the goal. This is the quote unquote counterintuitive way of saying it is the goal, right? This is the realization to be in. No matter what you do, you're fulfilled. You could be homeless, you're fulfilled. The same fulfillment as being the richest person in the world. Nothing beats this thing. So you can be fulfilled. And when you are fulfilled like this, no matter what, nothing can get in your way. So if you want to learn a new skill, most of the time when people want to learn a new skill, what's happening is that their limited mind is getting in their way. I'm not good enough. How come I can't do this? Or I'm learning at a time. Oh my God, I didn't have a good day because I didn't get this far, and I'm not good as this person. All this shit in your head that pops in your head when you take on a new skill. But if you were at the peak experience with no conditions needed to be at the peak of experience, then when you take up a new skill, there's no such thing as I'm not good enough. There's just pure enjoyment in the art of like getting involved and really getting into it and not feeling any type of way about not achieving a certain set of results. This is the goal. Quote unquote counterintuitive way to say it, the goal. I say that because it's not a goal, it's just something that is part of your nature naturally, and you just veered off. Anyways, yeah.